It's the weekly show about rAVe with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary. Steph and Gary.
Wow. It's been a busy week. And Steph, you're taking a big portion of the load this week by being on camera most of the time.
That is, sometimes that's the nature of the job. Lucky I enjoy it. Happy Wednesday, by the way. How has your week been?
It's good. This is our weekly TV show called rAVe TV. We even bring it to you live even during launch week. We're halfway through launch week, literally. Today is Pro AV Day. We've done UCC Day, and we've done Emerging Tech Day. So we have Pro AV Day left, and then we have, Digital Signage Day, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Today at 1 p.m., you can join at launch if you're not registered already and you're watching this on LinkedIn, because we come to you live every Wednesday at noon on LinkedIn and on Twitter and on Facebook and on ravepubs.com as well as YouTube. If you have not registered yet, you can get in on launch week. And this is important. Go to just launch.com, LAVNCH.com, because we are going to randomly tomorrow, maybe today too, but tomorrow for sure, we're going to put up a link that all you have to do is click a button. You'll be registered for Launch Week 7, which will be next year. And by doing that, you'll automatically get a $10 gift card to Amazon. So you should just register, because if you want free $10, you're going to be able to get it if you hang out. What do you think, Steph?
It goes live tomorrow. So we are very excited for y'all to go ahead and register. It's sure to be. We're starting the planning process already. I keep forgetting that it's next year. That sounded so weird to me when you said that.
Next year's coming up really fast. By the way, speaking of what's left this year, I know you're big into Halloween. I've never been big into Halloween, but your generation, I should say, is big into Halloween.
Yes. What are you not dressing up?
No. Oh, no, I don't do that kind of stuff.
I feel like that's so easy. Like, that's such low-hanging fruit for you. You could literally just be like any Star Wars, anything. Just like be a Star Wars. I had
the one and only time I did it ever since being a kid was, I went out with my kids and took them trick-or-treating, and I'd walk with them, make sure they're safe. But that one time I dressed as Darth Vader, it just didn't work. Yeah. Like, I'm not tall. I'm not menacing. I look like a scrawny... I look like Luke Skywalker inside of a Darth Vader costume.
Oh my gosh. The drama. No, I'm going to be, so you remember Haley, Haley?
Haley Waxman?
Yes.
Yes.
She and I are doing a costume together where she's going to be Elphaba and I'm going to be Glinda, the good witch from Wicked. So we're dressing up as that this year. But
Very cool.
But my friends always we get together, we dress up and hang out. It's never anything big. It's just fun for us. But Halloween's a fun holiday, you just make it fun.
I have to get up early and drive to Charlotte on November 1st and then have a meeting in Charlotte. Then I got to fly to California for a meeting I'm actually the keynote speaker at an event that Epson's putting on for
cool.
the higher educational community. So I don't have time to do Halloween this year.
Oh. My travel doesn't start again until a week after Halloween, so I'm good. But yeah, you're
going to Zoomtopia. We'll talk about that next week, and of course when you get back. But
I know I'm excited. This is my first Zoomtopia.
I'm excited for you to go. I'm excited. But big news yesterday.
Huge.
And personal big news too for me, because yesterday Extron announced that the person who founded the company, Andrew Edwards, who's been my professional mentor for over 30 years, is stepping into the chairman role. And usually that means that he's handed over control to, a group of C-suite executives. And I know all three of them very, very well. He's handed over control, for the most part of the company based on the release, to a CFO, Ed Ellingwood, to a CMO, Casey Hall, and Brian Tracy is going to take over as CTO. And basically they're going to run the company. And all three of these guys are geniuses, literally. Brian is probably is a quiet genius, right?
Yeah.
He's a thinker, and he doesn't say much. When he says something, it's like, holy shit, that was amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Casey, unlike me, when I was running marketing at Extron, Casey is a level above me. He's a very strategic thinker, whereas I'm more off the cuff.
Yeah.
and he's done a phenomenal job over there at Extron building a machine. And of course, Ed is has been there since the beginning from a financial standpoint. But I worked there 10 years with these three guys nearly.
Cool.
And all three of them are well deserving of the role. And I think that Andrew groomed them really well. I'm sure that he did. I have a comment in there, a quote in there in the story. If you want to go read it, it's at ravepubs.com. I talk about my personal experience, but I will, when George Feldstein passed away, everyone was talking about him being a industry icon. I think that Andrew was much more instrumental than even George. And I think George was amazing. And George did some amazing things. But George was helped by Randy Klein quite a bit. But Andrew is sort of like this individual genius where he basically not only came up with the product ideas, but also the execution of the product ideas, and was very relationship oriented. So I think he did a little bit more. And I think that he touched people more, meaning I think his individual relationships were bigger than even George's. Both those dudes did an amazing, you can't discount anything George Feldstein did. He was a god in our industry, but I would put Andrew right there with him. And since I worked with directly for Andrew, I would put him a little bit above that because of my personal experience. But, I'll tell you a quick story. One of the first days I was working at Extron, he said to me, and I grew up in North Carolina, but they're in California. I moved out to California. He says to me, I'm going to get you golf lessons. Now, to me, this was like the worst thing in the world. And the reason why it was the worst thing in the world is because I hate golf. Because in North Carolina, you either love golf or you hate golf because all these out-of-staters come in and invade your state because we have such great golf courses, Pinehurst, all that stuff.
Yes.
I was one of those people that hated it, mostly because I couldn't afford it when I was a kid. But when I went out to California, he said, I'm going to give you golf lessons. And his reasoning for that was that he said, everything's about relationships. And when you have a relationship with somebody over the phone, or if you meet them really quick at a trade show, that's not building a relationship. But if you spend 4 hours with them on a golf course, that's building a relationship. And that is totally true. He's all about relationships, and I'm sure he's still going to be involved, but that's big news because Extron is, the glue company in our industry along with Crestron.
That's true. Well, don't ever give me golf lessons because I'll just,
I'm terrible at it. I took the lessons. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm terrible. I gave up.
I think that I'm just not meant to do anything that requires coordination, and that's okay. That's just not my journey. Standing, yes, but that's like really standing, walking, maybe a light canter are about all we can do. But yeah, we're
both good at talking thanks to Shure, and we have actually a message from our sponsor, Shure, for rAVe TV. So why don't we play that message?
Do you notice the excitement in my voice? Can you see the subtle smile on my face? As humans, the words we say and how we say them are at the heart of how we communicate. And for effortless communication, distance shouldn't be an obstacle. Shure and Logitech have teamed to pair top-of-the-line audio with premium video and make sure everything you communicate is being communicated. Discover the harmony of Shure and Logitech. Effortless meetings at any distance.
All right, I switched to Gary out for Megan. So welcome, Megan Dutta. Thanks for hopping on.
I've been spending so much time with you this week. It's been lovely.
It has been lovely. So yes, you've been on with me for launch week 6, which we are now halfway through, which is crazy. ProAV Day. Once again, I will plug it. Y'all go and register for ProAV Day today at 1 Eastern. But Megan, you wrote a blog that I just wanted to talk about and ask you about. You wrote a blog about what it's been like your first year, a little over now, at the rAVe agency. So first of all, tell me what it's been like what you've enjoyed about being here in your first year.
It's been fantastic. I think the thing I like the most is when Gary and I talked about this, he was like, well, I don't really have a position. What do you want to do? And I was like, I don't know. Let me think about what I want to do, And we talked about the things I'm interested in. And, I know I say this a lot to you, Steph, is like UCC, like I was just sick of writing about things like that. I want to write about new things and frankly to learn new things.
Right.
So virtual production, extended reality, the metaverse, all of that is very interesting to me, and it ties into Pro AV. So I wanted to do something where I could still be in the Pro AV world and hang with my friends and go to the shows, but also expand the circle. And that's what I really love about it, and it's been wonderful. We just have such a great team, and I know I say this all the time. People are probably like, please stop talking about this, but we have an amazing team that really like comes together and is so creative. And I really believe so far there's been no idea that I've had that has been a no, we can't do that. It's always like we'll figure this out. And I think obviously people are probably used to that from Gary coming up with crazy ideas.
Yeah. Yes. But definitely yes. The vibe here is like no idea is too crazy. It might not happen in the way you initially like planned, but chances are like we'll develop something based off of that first initial idea.
Right. And with the creativity, like anytime I have an idea, everyone just adds to it, and we like it just turns into something great. Like I love how we brainstorm together and really work as a team to come up with what's going to be the best solution for us and for our audience and for our sponsors.
Yes. You talked in your blog about this like quiet quitting phenomenon, which we also talked about on UCC Day, which was kind of random. But do you think that this phenomenon, like which, you know, I'll describe it to people if for those of you who might not know, quiet quitting is kind of this idea that's kind of garnered some like a lot of like talk on social media because it's this idea of I'm not doing anything above or beyond my job anymore. I'm doing exactly what's in my job description. Don't ask me for anything else because this is what I'm paid to do, basically. Which, you know, there are pluses and minuses to that. But like, do you think that that would not exist if people everywhere just like really enjoyed their job? Do you think that that is just for people who like just their job is where they clock in and leave?
There's so many layers and nuances to that question.
Yeah,
So
I asked you like a $5 million question.
I think, first of all, I think the term quiet quitting really does bug me in the way that that not you personally, but like we use it as a society, because I mean, I'm paid to do a job. There's nothing wrong with working your hours, getting your tasks done. Like why should you be going above and beyond every day? That then you should be getting paid more because you clearly have a larger role. So I'll start with that's my objection to the term quiet quitting.
Right.
But I do think it depends so much. Like I've been in jobs I loved before, and I loved the job and I loved some of the people I was with, but I didn't like things like pay or lack of resources. You know what I mean? There's so many different things that can affect that. So I think if you love your job, you will go above and beyond, but it also, the company has to support you, making sure you have the resources, you're being paid what you're worth, and, you know, constantly reevaluating that, because that's a problem. Like people get a job and at what they're worth, but then they grow and they don't get a raise. You know, the merit raises are hard to get, in my opinion.
Yeah, they are. And I come from hard news journalism. So that is like, you know, just rub two pennies together and that's what you make in a year. Gary's like laughing. Yeah, like something they always said in journalism school. They're like, you're never gonna have money, so just enjoy that. And you're also gonna work 1 million hours a week, and you're just gonna be sad for the rest of your life because your job is reporting sad stories. So say thank you for this degree.
I'm glad we've both found a home at rAVe, because we get to, we always talk about like how much we like the people in this industry, and we get to report on things that are interesting, and we're well compensated and enjoy where we work.
Exactly. So I do want to ask, like, what's your advice to other people who are looking to further or take the next steps in their careers, but maybe they're afraid or don't know where to start?
I think for me, the biggest driver of my career has been networking, because I found an amazing home in Pro AV where people don't want to see you fail in general. You know, they want to see you succeed. And I know so many people have been willing to help me along the way, and I want to do that for others. You know, I want everyone to be friends and say like, hey, this person is fantastic at this, let's get this job. And I think, and besides, outside of networking, I think expanding your skill set in whatever way makes you happy, you know, and somehow, you know, using that in your job. So I'll give an example. I worked at Peerless AV a long time ago doing trade shows, and there was a recession. We weren't doing as many shows. And I'm going to sound so old saying this, but like Twitter had just started. So I was like, well, let's make a Twitter and I'll start doing like social media. And I started doing social media and build a thought leadership program. And all of those things added value to me personally, to the company. But at the same time, it made me happy and I got to expand my skill set. So look for things you like and enjoy and then find out how to blend that into your work.
That's really good advice.
And don't be afraid to leave is the other thing.
That's true.
Like, it's scary. I mean, every time you leave, it's like a new adventure. It's scary working. Even if like I knew people at rAVe before I worked here, when I worked at SCN, I knew people at SCN, but it's still challenging to take that leap because you don't know for sure how it's going to work out. But every time I've left, it's been the things I was worried about, like, will I have as much freedom? Will I like get along with my coworkers? Will I have the resources? Every time I've left, it's just amplified into a better space for me. So I think if you go into it with that mindset, like, I'm going to rock at this new place, it's going to be fantastic, you can really make it work.
That's true. That's really good advice. Well, Megan, thank you so much for hopping on and for talking about it. Of course, you can scan that QR code and her blog is linked so you can go read it for yourself. So thanks again, Megan. I'll see you in a little bit.
Okay, bye.
That was a great interview, and I'm happy to have Megan on our team, and y'all are doing a phenomenal job on launch week. I mean, y'all are doing the heavy lifting there, so thank you.
Thank you. So, speaking of, I don't know, there's no good way to segue this. So I'm just going to talk about rAVe, a really good glue company. Gary, you were talking about glue companies earlier. rAVe is definitely a glue company. So Legrand has shared a resource that I'm going to share with you all. This is the IT Hot 100. So just a little bit about this. This is a PDF that you can scan that QR code and it'll take you right to it. But this is about all about making hybrid work, right? We've talked about that till we're blue in the face. But Legrand solutions pair with all of your favorite go-to brands to transform a single transaction into a suite that solves for the real challenge at hand, which is helping employees be seen and heard no matter where they're working. So they have included a curated list that highlights the top conferencing products from the brands that you know to create a full solution and loyal customers. So definitely check that out. And there are links to email them if you want any more information. That's av.techsupport@legrand.com.
Excellent. So what else is going on in the industry? Snap One did something. I don't know. What was it?
Yeah, Snap One acquired Parasol, which is really crazy. Which I mean,
Parasol was building something for Snap One.
Yes, they were building a support service based on Oversee. So Snap One and Parasol worked closely together. So it's not like that crazy of an acquisition or that wild of.
But it is crazy how many acquisitions they've made in the last couple of years. Ever since they went public, they've definitely used their money to buy companies.
I feel like I have posted so much acquisition news in the past 2 years. Was it always like this, Gary? I've only been here full time 3 years. So
the last 5 years, definitely. The last 5 years, there's been more acquisitions than the whole time I've been in this industry, the last 30 years. So, I think part of it is part of it is companies wanting to expand, but the other part of it is the companies, you grow to a certain point and you realize you can't grow more unless you get support services outside of what you have right now. And you either have to put a whole bunch of money in yourself or partner with another company. And I think a lot of companies are on the verge of exploding, and they're partnering with other companies and then they get acquired.
Well, there's also this idea of companies. Yes, they make what they're known for and what they're good at, but they want to delve into kind of a new market. So say it's an audio company, maybe they want to start providing cameras. So there are two ways to do that. You can just start making your own cameras, which, probably isn't. They could go south. It could go really great. It's kind of a 50-50. Or you can purchase a small company that's really known for its cameras. So there's also that factor in UCC as well. I feel like a lot of the acquisitions we've been posting have dealt with the UCC market. And I think it's because everyone's trying to be the all-in-one UCC company.
I think your analysis is good because it definitely applies to Panicast and Jabra, right? Mm-hmm. I definitely think Huddly is ripe for an acquisition any moment. So there are companies out there that are one company that I know is excited about their future is Aver, ProAV. We spent a lot of time with Aver in the last week at the Alamo E4, for example. You're going to see them at Zoomtopia.
Yes, I'm very excited.
Second week in November.
So yes, this is just us letting you know Aver Pro AV is going to be at Zoomtopia, and they are really working on their cameras and becoming a staple in the Pro AV market. So they're kind of a good example of what Gary and I were talking about. They're going to be there both days, November 8th and 9th at booth number 14, and we have included a link where you just scan that QR code there, where you can register for $300, which, that's like a medium price to attend a show, but it's actually not that bad when you consider the full price for a Zoomtopia ticket is like $1,500.
Well, and also famous people are going to be there, like their
Yes.
keynote speaker and their bands and stuff is all famous.
Yeah.
People,
okay.
so.
I heard from the grapevine that Nelly is performing. Do you know that is true?
I know who Nelly is, but I don't have any clue if they're performing.
Okay. Yes. And then the other thing I heard is that Timbaland is going to be a keynote speaker.
Wow. He's Timbaland's known for a lot of collaborations.
Yes.
So I think there's some logic in like working together and
working together, like collaborating, because he's a performer, but he's also very known for his production efforts and working with other artists. So that's going to be a really interesting keynote. So I'm actually so excited that I'm going to Zoomtopia.
And if you're not paying attention to Zoomtopia, we will be there. So we'll pay attention for you. And one of the things about Aver is that Aver, as an example, is doing a really good job collaborating with other companies. They announced a couple of weeks ago a collaboration with rAVe, where you can actually use Aver cameras connected to rAVe products, and ultimately it'll help the camera follow the speaker better because you're getting not just the visual tracking, but you're also getting audio tracking as well using microphone mist technology. So that's something they're going to demonstrate at Zoomtopia in their booth. They're in booth number 14. It's not going to be hard to find. Show's not that big.
What I was talking about. That's like actually a perfect example of like, okay, here's a company that's great at cameras. Here's a company that's great at audio. They all want to be like the perfect partnership, the UCC end all be all. So I think that they are like a perfect example, and I'm really excited to check them out at Zoomtopia. I'm excited. I haven't even looked at the full list of companies that are going to be there.
All the UC companies are there. Everybody who's in
all of
UC
them
is there.
In the world.
Yep, they'll all be there. You'll see them all there.
I'm assuming my pals at D10 are going to be there.
They're going to be there.
Max Hub's going to be there.
Yep.
Jabra.
Lenovo's going to be there.
So
Paul's
I don't know.
going to be there. Logi's going to be there. They're all going to be there.
I'm gonna be really only there for like one full day, so I'm gonna have to like really cram in.
Max Hub is going to have a big impact there at the show because they don't just, they build every kind of thing in collaboration, right? So that's a company I think has a lot of potential.
I'm very excited. This is gonna be a fun like show.
Are you going to stay out there? Or are you going to come back and then go to DSE?
I'm going to come back and then go to DSE.
Okay, because DSE is the next.
That's a lot of days to stay out there because that's like 8th and 9th, and then DSE is like I think I'm flying out the 16th. So that would be a lot of time for me to stay on the West Coast.
Well, we're excited about DSE, and
we are.
We actually have a piece from an interview. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. I talked to Tom LeBlanc. He is going to have a session there, so I want you to check out this short clip of his session.
In my career, I started off covering this industry as a journalist and, writing about the different product categories that integrators could pursue. And I think digital signage is obviously one of the more interesting ones, in large part because it's so untapped. So many integration companies don't do much in terms of developing a digital signage business. So it's just really, it was an interesting category to write about. And now that I'm at NSCA, and one of the things we do is talk to integrators about how to grow their businesses, it's a great topic to discuss with companies.
For sure. That leads us right into your panel discussion. This is called Transforming Your Talent Pipeline. So tell me a little bit about what that means.
Okay, so this could really be about digital signage, or it could be about anything in the integration market, because it's really about the talent challenge that the integration market seems to face. I keep referring to our industry as existing in a bubble, right?
Yeah.
So there's this bubble, and you, Steph, and me, and all the folks that we talk to every day for our work, we're aware of the great career opportunities that exist in the bubble. But outside of the bubble, nobody has any idea what the heck we're talking about.
I'm looking forward to DSC, and Tom LeBlanc has done a really good job over there at NSCA, by the way, taking over for Chuck Wilson, who's he's a staple in our industry. He's somebody else that will be writing an article about retiring one day, and the many things that he's done to the industry.
And it's going to be a really great session. I highly encourage all of you to register for DSC and attend. So I know that this is just something that we've talked about a lot, is recruiting new talent into AV and how to do that. So it is going to be November 17th at 2:30 p.m. So definitely go check that out. And you can watch all of the DSC pre-show podcasts that we've done on ravepubs.com. There are also a few on Launch Code that you can check out as well. So.
And Steph's been hijacking my rants and raves to do these.
I have.
I'm welcome for you to do that anytime, Steph. Because
thank you. Have you seen
I
the
get tired
jingle?
sometimes.
Like Corinna made an edit to your jingle where it like record scratch goes away and then my face comes up, and I just thought it was really funny.
Oh, I got to see that. I didn't even notice that.
It's hilarious. You'll like it.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think that was everything that we wanted to cover.
I think the last thing I want to say is I want to bring back that. I want to make sure you know to go to launch week. I mean, we still have 2 more days, DSC's in a month, but we have a digital signage day tomorrow. Pro AV Day is today. That's the biggest day of all. Guess what's going to happen today on Pro AV Day, Steph? Guess.
I've been waiting for
this. We're going to have a
supply
supply chain panel live talking about what's going on in the industry with supply chain, how you can help yourself paying attention to it, and sort of what's going to ultimately be the outcome of the supply chain issues. And I have obviously some opinions, but most importantly, we did a supply chain survey, and I will tell you the results of that survey, each question, the results that we found out from the industry, and we'll share them with the panelists and see what they think as well.
We got some good responses to that survay. Am I right? Like,
we did. We actually got. I'll kind of tease. I'll tease one thing out there. Let's see if. One of the questions was, have you experienced any so-called supply chain issues that have affected the delivery or scheduling of client projects? And the answer was 97% yes, 3% no. That is a giant. I can't think of anything that has affected our market to 97%. No. And then another thing is, if you've experienced supply chain issues, so those people that answered yes, the 97%, throughout 2022, have they become better or worse as the year has progressed?
They're going to say
74.8% said worse.
Yeah,
only
that sounds about right.
18% said better. So we are in the midst of a major crisis in our industry, and that's what this panel is all going to be about. So if you're experiencing supply chain, this is your chance to ask some of the key manufacturers. Companies like Crestron are going to be on this panel talking about sort of how they're struggling through this and sort of how they're changing their business model to make sure to accommodate this. And they're going to be very specific about it. It's going to be a great session. I'm excited about it. So sign up for Launch Week. It is today in just a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Sign up for Launch Week.
It's in less. It's in 30 minutes.
Yeah, my panel's not in 30 minutes, but but Launch Week starts in 30 minutes. Yes.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
So
I need a little bit more time to prepare for that panel than 30 minutes. I got to eat something.
Yes, y'all make sure to come back. So make sure to scan that QR code. It will take you somewhere to register. So we hope to see you in just 30 minutes. And it is sure to be a great day. And of course, join us for Digital Signage Day tomorrow as well. It's going to be another few really great panels as well. And final little bit of information, if you stay the whole day, either day, you get 2.5 Avixa RUs. So you can renew your CTS credits. So
we've actually had people email us saying how fast can they get the credits in because they have a deadline.
Oh my gosh.
Do an email change so we're doing it as fast as we can.
As fast as we can. We're typing so fast. But yes, I think that's our show. That's our show.
Thank you. Thanks everyone. We'll see you in a half an hour, Steph.
Yep. We'll see you next week for another episode of rAVe TV. Bye everybody.
It's the weekly show about Pro AV with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary. Steph and Gary.